Southland Paper and Chemical is the pressure washer headquarters for the CSRA. With a complete line of pressure washers plus in-house service, Southland has all of your cleaning chemicals, including pool supplies. Find a large selection of the top brands with the best prices in town. Southland has their own cleaning chemicals that are made in-house, comparable to the name brands, and priced lower. They also do custom chemical orders, so call or come by today to find out more. Southland Paper and Chemical, 1212 New Savannah Road in Augusta.
Is it time to clean your closet? Don't throw out those clothes. Consign them and make money.
I can help with that.
Second time around, the CSRA's oldest and most trusted consignment store is now accepting gently used clothes, shoes, and accessories for the whole family.
We can help with that.
They're also taking in gently used furniture and housewares.
We can help with that.
Come in today and see why local shoppers have been trusting Second Time Around for more than 40 years. Open Monday through Saturday on 3690 Washington Road.
On air and online, News 12's First Alert Traffic Network is sponsored by Mountaineer Pest Services. Protect your home at StopMyBugs.com. News 12 NBC 26 is on your side with First Alert Weather.
Well, severe weather is headed towards our area as we speak. Our weather team issuing a First Alert Weather Day to help you stay in the know.
Yeah, as you can see, our entire area is at an enhanced severe risk. That is a level 3 out of 5 on the severe weather threat scale, meaning severe storms are likely.
And we go now to First Alert Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale with the latest on the severe weather and what we need to know. Riley.
Yeah, guys, this is a rare severe weather day for us. We only get maybe one or two of these types of severe weather days a year in the CSRA, so an enhanced risk is not something we see all too often. We just got placed underneath the severe thunderstorm watch for pretty much the entire CSRA. The only exception is our far southern counties, but this is in anticipation of severe weather being likely across the area as we continue through this evening up until close to midnight. That's how long that watch does stay in effect. We have our first severe thunderstorm warning of the day. This is up towards the lake, so this does include areas like Modoc, downtown Edgefield, Pleasant Lane, so portions of McCormick and Edgefield County. Quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and this one's going to stay in effect for at least the next 30 minutes. And this has been producing some pretty strong winds with it, and you can see likely developing a hail core just as it crossed over the lake. May have actually picked up a little boost from going over those warm lake waters there over the last 15 minutes. This is the main event, though, folks. This is what's going to be moving in and where we're expecting our most likely chance to see severe wind gusts. So this is now crossing areas around Athens, I-85, and this is moving east at about 40 to 45 miles an hour. So we have some stuff forming ahead of the main event that is starting to turn severe now, but this is once again going to be our main wave that does show up a little bit later into this evening. Rough time estimate for us here around Augusta, between 7 or 8 o'clock. Once again, we have stuff kind of popping up before the main event, but the most likely threat for those strong wind gusts most likely would be a little bit closer towards 7, 8 o'clock. Now, we are still tracking some of these strong storms, so once again, this has kind of popped up within the last couple of hours, and those are producing some strong winds, maybe up to 40, 50 miles an hour. But enhanced risk for everybody, folks, so just want to make sure you are staying weather aware, have a way to receive those weather alerts, and keep your cell phone charged up. There is going to be the opportunity for some power outages over the next several hours. We'll have much more on this coming up in the full forecast, but let's get a quick update now on your First Alert traffic.
And now, First Alert Traffic.
All right, here's a live look outside of our building, I-20 Riverwatch Parkway. We are noticing that traffic's moving okay for the most part, these eastbound and westbound lanes, and haven't really seen much of an issue on Riverwatch Parkway. And right now, looking towards this view from our studios, you can see a lot of blue sky, but there is some rain peppered across Augusta, so that could definitely impact your commute some. There's a look out at Grovetown next. You can see a little bit darker skies here, exit 190. Doesn't look like traffic's too bad there on Lewiston Road. Make sure you are sticking with us for that forecast the rest of the night. We'll have an update again on that severe weather threat in just about 10 minutes.
All right, thanks, Riley. And the FAA is rerouting aircraft around the storms hitting the East Coast right now. Atlanta, Columbia, JFK, Charlotte, and several other major airports are either closed or at a ground stop for at least the next half hour. We're monitoring the situation, and we will let you know when those ground stops end.
Those severe storms tearing through Tennessee in just the last couple of hours. This is in Spencer, which is about an hour north of Chattanooga. You can see trees just ripped from the roots, thrown onto the highway, blocking it completely off. And this is this crazy video out of Indiana. You can see and even hear the winds whipping in this video of a twister. Early reports from the National Weather Service calling this an EF1 tornado with wind speeds up to 90 miles an hour. Now, all of this happening overnight. The severe weather threats will continue to cover more than 100 million Americans into tonight. We'll have much more first alert weather day coverage coming up in less than 10 minutes.
For years, the area of the Aiken Mall off Whiskey Road has been in limbo, but now construction is underway, and we have a better idea of what shops and features are coming to this area. Some well-known chains are coming to that area, including Chicken Salad Chick and Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
Our Alyssa Lyon shows us what we can expect to see as development there continues.
Now, you may have to squint a little bit, but if you look just over my shoulder, you see that the walls are officially going up, meaning that we're just that much closer to seeing some new tenants move in at the Aiken Mall. Aiken was once a hot spot for shoppers traveling from outside counties. With the new development, the Aiken city manager hopes it will be once again. Shoppers who live 20 miles outside of Aiken typically don't see chains or big shopping venues. They usually make the trip hoping for a one-stop shop. But since the mall closed, they've had to travel to other outside counties. The city manager says making Aiken a go-to shop brings more benefits than just the traffic.
The city, we are getting reimbursed over 25 years through the multi-county business park agreement that the county and the city and the developer entered into in 2017. And over time, that money will be refunded or rebated back to the city of our investment of $1 million.
Coming up all new on News 12 at 6 o'clock, I sit down with the developer to discuss the plans and the progress on the development in Aiken. Alyssa Lyon on your side.
On the heels of an investigation by the DOJ, another family wants answers after a 19-year-old's death in the Fulton County Jail. 19-year-old Nani Batista Casoko was found unresponsive in her cell July 11th. She was being held on a misdemeanor bench warrant. Her family's attorney says the Fulton County Jail has major issues with health care, and Nani died mysteriously while in custody. The sheriff's office says there were no obvious signs of injury when she was found. No word yet on her cause of death.
Our sister station in Charleston is digging deeper into the jailhouse calls made by a suspect in a deadly crash that killed a newlywed bride in Folly Beach. 25-year-old Jamie Komorowski is accused of hitting and killing Samantha Miller and seriously injuring 3 others while they were leaving their wedding on a golf cart. Allegations over favoritism by the Charleston County Sheriff's Office led to WCSC getting their hands on hours of video and phone calls between Komorowski and her family.
I still just don't know why this had to happen to me. Because bad things happen to good people, honey. That's why. It's just fate. It's just something that happened to you, and we are going to deal with it as best we can.
Reports state that Komorowski was going 65 miles per hour in a 25 mile per hour zone when the crash occurred. A blood toxicology report shows that her blood alcohol level was more than 3 times the legal limit in South Carolina. Komorowski was denied bond last week and is still in jail this evening.
$30 million will soon be spread across the country to improve school meals in some of the nation's smallest and most rural districts.
Our State House reporter Mary Green explains how this money will be used and where it's headed in South Carolina.
This money is coming through the USDA's Healthy Meal Incentives Initiative, and school districts will be able to implement it starting with this new school year. More than 260 school districts across 44 states and the District of Columbia are receiving up to $150,000 each through this initiative. In South Carolina, 4 districts were selected from among 600 plus applicants nationwide. Spartanburg 4, Edgefield County, Lexington 3, and Lee County. Federal data shows about 30 million kids across the country eat a school meal every day, and for many of them, this is the healthiest and only hot meal they get daily. This money will go toward improving meal nutrition and modernizing operations. For example, through kitchen renovations and new training programs focused on smaller and rural districts.
Particularly in rural places when you've got a smaller population and lower student size.
access to healthy school meals is a priority for some lawmakers here at the State House as well. Republican Senator Katrina Shealy has filed a bill with bipartisan support that would provide universal free school meals all across South Carolina. Shealy has vowed to push for its passage when the General Assembly returns here in January. Reporting from the State House, I'm Mary Green.
The USDA says these grants are the largest targeted investments it's ever made for school meal programs in small and rural communities.
A viral weight loss trend making it harder for some to get their hands on important medication. We'll take a look at why coming up next. Riley?
And we have our first severe thunderstorm warning of the day, and everybody is underneath a severe thunderstorm watch. We'll have much more on the severe weather threat for the rest of tonight coming up.
The Challenge USA new season premieres Thursday at 10/9 Central on CBS.
Welcome back, folks. Here's a look at our first alert radar network showing a line of severe thunderstorms stretching now all the way from Charlotte, North Carolina to Birmingham, Alabama. So this is a very long line of storms that are producing winds anywhere from 60, possibly even up to 70 miles an hour. We've already had confirmed damage from these storms, knocking down trees, power lines, a lot of power outages across Atlanta and North Georgia now. So that threat is going to continue building towards us over the next couple of hours. We've seen some storms pop ahead of the main event, though, and they have reached an environment that's just has a plethora of severe weather ingredients. We have a ton of energy, a ton of heat, humidity, moisture, and the factor today that's why upping the severe chances that we have a lot of wind shear. So these storms are able to kind of maintain themselves and continuously produce severe storms. This is the only active warning we have in effect for the CSRA right now. That does include most of Edgefield County and also a portion of McCormick County, staying in effect until 5:30 p.m. Quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning with this as well. So anywhere in Edgefield County, make sure you are staying inside away from windows. The showers have now crossed over the river into Aiken County. Those are sub-severe but producing some heavy rain and a good bit of lightning with those as well. Same thing with these moving out of Washington County towards Jefferson County. Those are sub-severe at the moment, but we're really looking at that main event to show up over the next couple of hours, and that's where our severe weather chances are much better. Looking from our Grovetown cam, you can see we have towering cumulus clouds, so this is letting us know that these storms are growing, getting stronger, and they just have a really ripe environment to continue to sustain themselves. It's been very hot
on CBS.
Welcome back, folks. Here's a look at our first alert radar network showing a line of severe thunderstorms stretching now all the way from Charlotte, North Carolina to Birmingham, Alabama. So this is a very long line of storms that are producing winds anywhere from 60, possibly even up to 70 miles an hour. We've already had confirmed damage from these storms, knocking down trees, power lines, a lot of power outages across Atlanta and North Georgia now. So that threat is going to continue building towards us over the next couple of hours. We've seen some storms pop ahead of the main event, though, and they have reached an environment that's just has a plethora of severe weather ingredients. We have a ton of energy, a ton of heat, humidity, moisture, and the factor today that's why upping the severe chances that we have a lot of wind shear. So these storms are able to kind of maintain themselves and continuously produce severe storms. This is the only active warning we have in effect for the CSRA right now. That does include most of Edgefield County and also a portion of McCormick County, staying in effect until 5:30 p.m. Quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning with this as well. So anywhere in Edgefield County, make sure you are staying inside away from windows. The showers have now crossed over the river into Aiken County. Those are sub-severe but producing some heavy rain and a good bit of lightning with those as well. Same thing with these moving out of Washington County towards Jefferson County. Those are sub-severe at the moment, but we're really looking at that main event to show up over the next couple of hours, and that's where our severe weather chances are much better. Looking from our Grovetown cam, you can see we have towering cumulus clouds, so this is letting us know that these storms are growing, getting stronger, and they just have a really ripe environment to continue to sustain themselves. It's been very hot and humid today. Heat index temperatures have been all the way up to 110 in a few spots, so we do have a heat advisory in effect until around sunset as well. Now, looking ahead into this evening, our best rain chances here in Augusta, we just saw a quick little storm hop over us, but the greatest chance to see maybe some strong winds is going to be between 7 and 8 o'clock later this evening into tonight. Until then, we'll have that opportunity for some hit or miss showers and storms, but the severe weather threat, an hour or two before sunset, will hang with us through around 9, 10 o'clock. By midnight, we should be done with the severe weather threat area-wide, and we should see a much calmer overnight. But if you have your cell phone out, go ahead and scan this QR code. This will take you to our latest flow page. So this will give you all the latest graphics. It'll have a link to our app, interactive radar, and the best way to stay on top of the forecast for the rest of tonight. So just give that a quick scan, and that way you'll always be in the know in case those storms do impact your area later tonight. Here's the way it's playing out. So this is our line of storms that are approaching, most likely getting close to us here in Augusta between 7 and 8, quickly moving off towards the east, so by around midnight, should be much drier across the area. Our Sunday does look drier as well. Wake up to dry conditions into the afternoon. There could be a stray shower storm south of I-20, and there is going to be a low severe weather threat again on Tuesday, but much lower than what we're expecting tonight. You can see for the rest of today we have that enhanced risk, so level 3 out of 5, which means severe weather is likely for us. For our Tuesday, that severe weather threat shifts to the southern CSRA, and then by Wednesday we're just back to our generic summer thunderstorms. But for the rest of the week, we are going to hang on to pretty decent heat and humidity. We're looking at temperatures to reach the mid-90s both afternoons, and those feel-like temperatures will definitely be up to 100 as well. Storm chances, though, with us for tonight, Tuesday, a little break Wednesday, before higher storm chances again to end off the work week.
All right, thanks for that, Riley. High demand, short supply. Social media and celebrities have helped trigger a diabetic drug shortage. Drugs like Ozempic are weekly injections to help people deal with type 2 diabetes. It helps them keep their blood sugar under control. But these medications have a coveted side effect: weight loss. And because of this side effect, it's become harder for the people who actually need the drug to get it.
News 12's Taylor Martin takes a look at what you can do if you can't get a hold of these medications.
I've called everywhere: Walgreens, CVS, Publix. Nobody has it.
All out of some of the most used diabetes drugs.
You probably know them as Ozempic, Mounjaro, Victoza.
And it's not just those drugs. It's weight loss drugs like Wegovy and Saxenda. Pharmacist Morgan Roberts says are nearly identical to Ozempic and Victoza, causing providers to prescribe the diabetes drugs when the weight loss drugs are out.
In a lot of scenarios, it's cheaper for them to use a coupon and get the diabetes product than it is for them to get the weight loss product.
But in the midst of a shortage, is there hope or at least an alternative?
I want to see it in the pharmacies.
Morgan says drugs like Trulicity and Victoza are not only available, but can serve as alternatives to Ozempic and Mounjaro, making the wait a little better for some diabetics.
If that's not an option, then lifestyle modifications during that time, reducing, the carb loading, also drinking more water, exercising more, that can also aid in sort of maintaining either their weight or their blood sugar in the meantime.
Reporting in Augusta, Taylor Martin, on your side.
Pharmacies say whether these drugs are available changes daily, and they are checking their wholesalers often to see if you can get your medicine.
Advances in technology have made AI scams more believable. Next, ways to protect yourself from these sophisticated schemes.
First Alert Radar, powered by Jim Hooks. You're interested.
Let's talk about the if in life. We just make and embrace the if in life.
Phone and video scams are nothing new, but thanks to artificial intelligence, these scams are getting a lot more sophisticated and a lot more believable.
Absolutely. In this Watching Your Wallet, consumer investigator Carice Jackman hears from an expert on common tactics and what you can do to prevent yourself from falling for an AI scam.
What you're looking at are fraudsters, checking out their computer, practicing their voice and mannerisms in order to trick unsuspecting victims online.
They're constantly getting better at what they do. They're constantly trying to find different ways, different vulnerabilities that the fraud fighters haven't really thought of, that the victims haven't really thought of, in order to take advantage out of people.
Dr. David Myman runs the evidence-based cybersecurity group at Georgia State University in Atlanta. They collect and analyze videos like these from cyber criminals who share their methods on social media and the dark web.
We see many actors, both local actors but also global actors, infiltrating dating apps, looking for profiles on Facebook, on Tinder, on other platforms. They have access to taking the images from those profiles, establishing fictitious profiles.
In many cases, Myman says the fraudsters use dating apps to prey on people, hoping to take advantage of them. To make matters worse, they also educate other cyber criminals on the tricks of the trade.
the criminals offer to walk you through, a tutorial, to make sure that you know exactly how to use the tool. They actually offer practice lessons as well with respect to how to move your lips and eyes in order for it to sync with your voice when you sort of communicate with the victim. So this is how sophisticated the operation is at this point.
So these bad actors are teaching other bad actors how to do their job.
Oh yeah, definitely, and they sell the software which they use in order to do that.
The AARP has also noticed an uptick in concerns over AI scams and issued an alert telling consumers to beware of AI voice cloning.
10 seconds, maybe even, of your voice and using AI create an entire conversation and getting your grandparent to believe that I'm you and I need your help right away.
Kathy Stokes, Director of Fraud Prevention Programs with the AARP, says it's hard to tell now whether someone you see or hear is fake, but says the biggest red flag is if you're suddenly in a heightened emotional state.
When you get a contact out of the blue about some big financial issue, whether it's I've got to solve this with money or I'm getting money and I'm so excited, that's the red flag. Something that instills fear, panic, excitement right up front, that's the red flag.
As for those who think they're being fooled on dating apps but aren't sure, Myman says consider bringing a friend or family member to meet this curious lover.
When you tell the scammer that you want to introduce them to someone from your environment, they will object because they know that someone else will probably be able to figure out that this is a scam.
Simple steps you can take to avoid the dark side of artificial intelligence. With this watching your wallet, I'm Carice Jackman.
Experts also say if someone contacts you out of the blue using AI tools and wants a lot of money, stop talking to them right away. Riley?
Well, we are going to watch the continued threat for severe storms all the way through this evening into early tonight. We do have an active warning now impacting downtown Edgefield, heading into Saluda County. Now look at radar in the forecast coming up. Welcome back, folks. Here's a live look down towards the state line from our studios. This is actually looking at the severe warned storm now rolling across Edgefield County, trying to make its way to Saluda County next. So some dark skies crossing the Savannah River. Still very hot and humid. Temperatures close to 90, but feeling like over 100 here in Augusta with an actual temp of 88. So it's very humid outside, and that's one of the ingredients we need to see these severe storms and why there is a very elevated severe risk the rest of this evening. There is going to be an opportunity for isolated tornadoes. We've seen a couple of quick spin-up warnings ahead of this line over the last couple of hours, so we're going to have to monitor that threat. But it looks like the greatest concern is just going to be widespread wind damage from a long line of storms that now stretches from Charlotte all the way to Birmingham. That's what's heading our way. Low flood risk, some heavy rain with these storms, so flood-prone areas be on alert. And can't even rule out some hailstones, maybe up to the size of $50 with these storms moving through over the next couple of hours. Here's a wide look at our radar network. You can see this is the line of severe storms, once again stretching from Atlanta through Charlotte and Birmingham. We have a couple of warnings that are getting close to the warning area, one in Macon, and then we have one that I just mentioned up in Edgefield County. So for the next couple of hours, folks, just make sure you are staying very weather aware and make sure you have a way to receive those weather alerts. Best way is to just make sure you have that First Alert weather app downloaded. Those storm chances don't really go away until we get closer to midnight tonight.
All right, thanks, Riley. Stick with us. We have much more news and important weather updates coming up after a short break as News 12 Live at 5 continues.